Shut up.
Oh, she's got my tissue.
She got what?
My tissue.
How are we doing, everyone? We are officially live. It has been a little while. It's been a minute. Are you just piping up in the back already? How are we doing, everyone? I'll wait for a few people to join. Say hello when you're in. Let me know you're about. Let me know you can hear me. Tell me where you're from. Where is everyone from in the world? Welcome again to my living room. How is everyone? Wait for people to come. So I haven't come on live actually for about, it's been about a week and a half. I've missed it. I missed my weekly live. So as always, guys, today's live is going to be, a process of me doing a change, which I love coming on and doing every week. Obviously, it's been about a week and a half this time, but it's good for you guys to get some questions in as well. So as well as, me going through the process of doing my change, I want you guys to engage. I want you guys to ask questions and, tell me where you're all from, guys. We've got 125 people in the room. So a couple of things that I always make sure before I basically start doing my change is that I'm using the right things and I've got the right products before I start. Can you actually check the feed body to see if anyone's asking anything? I don't know if I can actually see it. So yeah, a couple of things I make sure that I've got is basically I make sure I've got my obviously my spare bag, which is really, really important. So I make sure I've got this bad boy. That's the key. Oh, I dropped.
Can you see any comments?
No, people commenting.
Yeah.
How weird. So I actually can't see comments for some reason, guys. I don't know what's actually happening, but it won't let me. Is there comments coming up? Is there?
Yeah.
Oh, how weird! But you can sort of relay them to me, Bonnie. I can't see them today for some reason. So yeah, basically that's really annoying. What's doing that? What's it doing? So for some reason, guys, I can't see comments. So I will try and get back to questions as I can. But Bonnie's in the background. Is what?
You have to sort it on your screen.
I have to sort it on my screen. No, it is. I've got comments up, but it's not coming up for some reason. It's just letting me know what people have checked in. So as always, guys, I'm going to run through a series of stuff. Can I actually borrow your phone and have it next to me?
I was going to read them out to you.
Okay, well it's a bit awkward for me, babe.
Okay.
Yeah, can you just pass it? Is that right? A little bit awkward. So as always, guys, I'll run through the process of me doing my change. I'm going to borrow Bonnie's phone because for some reason I can see you guys. That's really weird, me watching myself. I'm on the phone, but I can see you guys, but I can't see what you're commenting, which is really irritating. So, hello from New Jersey. My name's Sherry. Hello from hospital in Denver. Amazing. Hello from Birmingham. Hello from USA. I'm deaf. I cannot hear you. I don't know whether Facebook do subtitles. So Facebook should definitely do subtitles. Hello from Buckinghamshire in the UK. For some reason, I can't see your comments, guys, which is really irritating. Hi, Bonnie in the background. Give your man a huge hug for me. He's amazing and very informative. Come here.
Oh, no.
She won't come on the camera. She won't come on the camera. So I'm going to keep Bonnie's... Hello from Pennsylvania. I'm going to keep Bonnie's phone on me. And I'm going to have to flick between talking to you guys on here. For some reason, my mind's not working. I have no idea. But yeah, the process, guys. The idea is to raise some awareness about, stomas, to show what's underneath my bag, as always. I do it once a week. And what I need from you guys very early on, so there are 300 of you watching right now, all I need you to do simply is give this post a little share. And, your share makes a huge difference. For one, it raises some awareness. It puts something different on your timeline. And, it spreads my message and what I'm trying to achieve, which is, I'm always very, very grateful for. So if you do give this post a share, hit it in the comment section. If I see it via Bonnie's post, then I will make sure that I cover it. So, actually, to be fair, Bonnie, you could actually... in the background.
Read you out some key ones.
What's that? Yeah, what I'm going to do, guys, because I can't see your comments tonight, I'm going to get Bonnie to read out some of the questions if there's any key ones that come. So I'll keep her phone on her because I can't see your comments, you see. So I'm going to start the first process. So I've got my bag. A few new products that I've been using, actually, guys. I did have like a convex bag, which is basically shaped like a star. But I've gone back to using my old bags because I didn't like them too much. I'm trying to get into paste. So I don't know whether you guys use any types of paste, but I'm trying to get a little bit into that. But again, haven't been bothered yet to do it. I get too lazy with stuff, so I haven't really used that yet. And then really the only other thing is rings. So you make sure, like I'm using these rings at the moment, which again, I haven't hugely got into, but they massively help reduce links. A lot of companies do them, you can get loads of different types and whatnot, so really helpful. Why don't you sit here, Bon?
Yeah.
At the seat, and then you can sort of ask me questions. So once I've got the bag off, guys.
Someone's come from TikTok.
Someone's come over from TikTok. Hello from TikTok. How are you?
This dream.
TikTok's my new craze. It's where I create all my videos. Any other questions, Bon? Have we got any other questions?
Yes, there is a good question.
Okay, so someone's got a question. Bonnie's going to read it to me, and then I'm going to sort of answer it as we go. Oh, adhesive spray. I've lost.
Oh, okay. Someone said, "Hi, could you please explain why your stoma's on your left side today, but on your pictures and previous?"
So someone's asked about my placement of my stoma being on which side. I can actually borrow your phone quick, so I'm going to explain about this. So when my stoma moves sides, it's really simple. So if I have a picture or a video taken from this side of the camera on the phone, and I'm stood this way, it will show my stoma up on one side. But when you turn it round, so I'm holding it this way and use this camera to take almost like a selfie mode picture, like I'm doing with you guys right now, I've got it on selfie mode, basically it flips my stoma to the other side. The best way to know that my stoma is genuine and I'm not a fraud is look at my tattoos, because my tattoos are on the same side every time. It just sort of flips it over. Like a mirror image, really. So yeah, I'm going to start getting stuck into this. The only thing I've just come to realise is that I've not actually got any spray. So normally when I do my bag change, I will spray, and the spray basically pulls the bag off and helps the bag fall off. I've got this little thing beneath my feet as well. Aren't you sniffing all the time? Sniffing? So yeah, so that's the basic. The basics. What I normally do is I use an adhesive spray, and then I'll slowly remove the bag. But because I haven't got that today, and quite often when I am at work, what I'll do is basically just pull the bag off. Because I always keep my stoma quite well shaved around, it means that when I do pull off, I don't really get any soreness, and it doesn't really pull any hairs out. But if you are quite hairy, I'd recommend shaving around that area. Hit me.
I read that you started training.
Louder.
This is from 𝙁𝙖𝙘𝙚𝙚𝙗𝙤𝙚, who is a top fan.
Yeah, top fan, 𝙁𝙖𝙘𝙚𝙚𝙗𝙚. Nice.
I've read that you've started training again. Do you find sweat and heat make your bag come unstuck? I have to wear a glucose sensor, and that comes unstuck all the time.
Okay, yeah, so I definitely think when it comes to having a stoma and managing your stoma, I'm just slowly taking my bag off. Basically, in heat and when I am exercising, it definitely affects it. I found when me and Bonnie were in Bali last, if I left my bag on for too long, it would almost go like, and what you can see here, you can see it's gone like a white, the heat has affected the bag a bit, and it's gone like a whiter colour. And sometimes I find when I was on holiday and the heat was quite extreme, it would basically make my skin sore. So using those supporting products is really important. But again, yeah, definitely I'd say it does definitely affect it, for sure. Have we got any other questions?
Okay, on your TikTok there's a picture of you from the beginning. You looked really skinny. Was that because of your illness?
Yeah, so for anyone who, you know, has seen my story in the past, and actually what would be good, Bonnie, could you get that picture up?
Ooh. Then I can't keep up with the content.
Yeah, sorry, just go off it a second. Bonnie's doing mine. I can't, for some reason, guys, tonight I can't see any comments, which is really annoying.
Lots of people have told you to adjust it in the corner, but that's not working.
It's not working, guys, so I can see people checking in. That's really not the case. It's done it from the offset, which is really, really irritating. So I don't know why it's not. Normally you can like swipe right, swipe left, and it can basically, you can see everyone's comments, but for some reason, I don't know why it's not letting me. Anyway, Bonnie's there to navigate. So my story really started in 2013 to the point of where I looked, I don't know if you can see, so that is me there. That is me in 2013. And the reason why that happened in 2013 was basically because I got an undiagnosed burst appendix. My appendix ruptured. I was horrendously ill. And yeah, it wasn't a very pleasant time, to say the least. I had to learn to walk again, I had to learn to eat again. All these kind of things, which was, as you can imagine, pretty horrendous. But I survived. And basically at that point, I was only actually given a 20% chance of survival,
Maggie.
but managed to pull out of the bag and live a little.
Ow.
Can you open that for me?
Ow. Ow.
The dog's attacking Bonnie's feet.
Oh my god, sorry.
God's sake, the dog is attacking Maggie. No, Maggie, the dog is attacking Bonnie. It doesn't matter, I got it out. So I also use these guys. So when I'm doing my changes, particularly early on when I'm doing my changes, I basically use these skin cleanser wipes from Brava. They're from 𝙁𝙖𝙘𝙚𝙗𝙚, and they're just really good. They help basically soothe the skin, which is obviously really important to look after your skin when you have got a stoma. So big importance. Remember guys, if you have just joined, what you're watching me do is essentially a process that I cover every sort of 3 days. What you're also looking at, if you don't know, is a stoma. So a stoma is effectively... maybe no. Play that. She's being too loud. A stoma is basically the end of my small intestine. You can get a stoma for like loads of different reasons. I always like to... are you joking? I always like to highlight why people can get a stoma and what reasons they can get it and what different stomas are, because I think people are a little bit sort of miffed by that. So my stoma is an ileostomy, which is my ileum, which is basically the end of my small intestine. Dry wipes. Can you see my dry wipes?
No. Do you find that your stoma bulges when you've eaten a lot?
Yeah, sometimes it can. So your stoma, when you, like someone's asked here, does your stoma bulge a lot? Your stoma can bulge after you've eaten. And it's normally just gas trapped behind the abdomen wall and trying to push out. If it's protruding too much, you could have some kind of prolapse or a herniation, which is, you know, again, not abnormal. That's totally not abnormal. But yeah, back to where I was. So what you're looking at is my small intestine. So for most people, you know, the best way to explain this, and for anyone who's watching this, guys, and you're finding it interesting, for anyone who new comes to this platform, if anyone wants to help me raise a little bit of awareness, you know, we've got over 4,000 people watching now. I'd hugely appreciate it if, you know, anyone living with an invisible condition or anyone that you know, that you give this video a share. It'll take you 2 seconds, pop it on your timeline, and, you know, you could bring someone who's never seen a stoma before to this platform and they could ask me a question. Equally, you could bring someone who's, you know, wanting to know more about a stoma that they just have fitted, and they can ask me the question live right now. I always find that a really powerful thing, and it's happened so much in the past. Have we got any more questions?
Faye sadly lost her mum to this in March this year.
Faye, I'm so sorry for you losing your mum to the condition. That's really, really sad. All of our thoughts on this platform are definitely with you. We are thinking of you.
Did your Crohn's start after your appendix?
Okay, so basically, after my appendix ruptured, I had a lot of internal stuff going on. So initially, my scar was given to me because my appendix ruptured, and then I got really, really ill. I was sort of like the picture I showed you earlier, where I was about 5.5 stone. I was horrendously ill. Now, during that time when my appendix exploded, it also deadened a small part of my bowel. So a very small part of my large colon got affected by the inflammation inside my gut, because I was going down to theatre every day for about 10 days whilst I was in an induced coma and basically getting my insides washed out. It was a really bad time. I was given a 20% chance of survival. It was really, really bad. But during that process, what I didn't know is basically a small part of my intestine had basically died. And obviously that impact of that happening affected me about 8 months down the line. So 8 months later, I started getting symptoms where I was going to the toilet like loads. I was losing loads and loads of blood, and it was absolutely horrendous. And at that point, I thought I need to go and have some tests here. Initially, I thought I might have had cancer, or they didn't stitch something up inside properly. But basically what it ended up being was just like a bit of my bowel had died, and it started creating active inflammation within inside my gut, which you can imagine in my early 20s was a really scary process, considering I'd never been ill before in my life. After loads of testing, so I got tested for like, you know, 6 to 8 months, or if not a little bit longer, they finally found out that, you know, I had basically active inflammation within my gut, because I was going to the toilet so much, my eyes were bleeding out, my airways was closing, basically all autoimmune responses to having an autoimmune condition. And then I got diagnosed with UC. Now, UC is known as ulcerative colitis, and the sister condition to that is Crohn's disease, and they're sort of put together as IBD. So when you hear the terminology IBD, that either means Crohn's disease or it means ulcerative colitis.
Sorry, Jackie said because her Crohn's started after she had appendicitis.
Oh, okay, yeah, so quite often, so Jackie said here her Crohn's disease started after she had appendicitis. Quite often, Crohn's disease can be underlining, and it was actually Crohn's disease that triggered your burst appendix. From when I spoke to a lot of surgeons, that's what they said to me. You could have actually had an underlining bowel disease and it got woken up and created a burst appendix. Did you know that, Bonnie?
Oh,
Did
sorry,
you know
I was
that?
reading comments. I wasn't listening.
Bonnie didn't even listen. She sat in the room and she's not even listening. She's reading comments for me though, so she has been helpful. So remember guys, we've got 8,500 people watching right now. What you're looking at is my stoma. It's basically the end of my small intestine. I'm basically describing why someone would get one of these, the ins and literally outs of it. And if you guys would do me a huge favour, there's 8,500 of you watching now, give this video a quick share. It'll take you 2 seconds, bump up on your timeline, and help me raise some awareness and help me break down the stigma around chronic illnesses. If you don't want to do it for awareness, just do it because you're an absolute legend. You can do that. Simple act of kindness. So the reason why people can get one of these, this is quite an oftenly asked question. So you could get it for something like Crohn's, colitis, a trauma, so like a big accident and you hit the abdomen and damage it. You could get it for polyps. You could get it for bowel cancer. You could get it for 𝙁𝙖𝙘𝙚𝙗𝙤𝙚 disease. There is so many reasons why you could end up getting one of these, and you'll be surprised with how many people do live with them. Obviously, I explained earlier, guys, that I've got an ileostomy. You can have a colostomy, which most people know what a colostomy is, and most people know what a bag looks like and what a stoma looks like from being behind one of these, but this is actually what's behind it, and I think that's really important to break down that stigma. So I've got an ileostomy, which is my ileum, and I'll explain the digestive system shortly. Some people can have a colostomy, which is on the other side. And then other people can have basically a urostomy. And you can have loads of different types of stomas, but a urostomy is urinatory based. Mine is like poo based, so mine's stool coming out of here. What's someone saying? Bonnie's just laughing to herself. What?
You're so handsome, if I were only younger.
Right, my girlfriend sat there. She's kicking off about these older women.
He's handsome, I know.
So that's it in a nutshell. And for anyone who's new to the stoma, for anyone who's just had one fitted, I've had my stoma now for about 4.5 years. And in that time, there was a lot of things that I didn't like and a lot of things that I should have done earlier on in my condition. And one of those things, guys, is for anyone that who's got a stoma, is to grab one of these. Okay, I'm producing them. I've produced over 900 and sold that many. I've got a full stock batch now. If you click the link in my comments, which is this right here, and I'll pin it to the top. So I'll pin this to the top. Yeah, so if you check that, is that pinned to the top, Bonnie? Can you see my comment pinned to the top? Can you see it on the comments pinned to the top? If you can get this, you can go to the pin comment to the top, which is on my link tree, and you can purchase one of these belts. They're free shipping worldwide, and the idea of them is, for one, they help people build confidence that are living with a large amount of scar tissue or a stoma, but they're also for people living with a stoma to stop you getting a prolapse or a herniation. You've got to think someone living with something like basically breaching the abdomen wall needs to be protected. Equally, your scar tissue, whether you haven't got a stoma or not, needs to be protected. And this belt is exactly for that, guys. So if you know anyone who would benefit from wearing one of these, you can click my link that's at the top of the comments and you can grab one. So I want to go through the, and you remember, guys, we've got 9,000 people watching now. Even 1,000 of you shared this video, it means that so many more people would see what a stoma is, and so many more people, would lay their eyes on this video. So I thank anyone who's already shared it. I hugely appreciate it. Have we got any more comments, Bonnie?
At least you don't have to worry about putting your bum on a dirty toilet seat to go poop.
Yeah, so I don't have to sit on the toilet anymore. People empty their bag in like numerous different ways. Some people will I tend to stand up and lean forward if my output's thicker. Sometimes I sit down or I kneel down. It just depends what someone else put here.
Let me see your girlfriend, lol.
Someone wants to see Bonnie, but she won't come in the screen. She's chilling on the sofa. She's just been to the gym. We've just started the gym again this week, so lifestyle goes back in the right direction. We've been slacking for ages. So I want to talk about the digestive system and the way it works. Bonnie, can you grab me a little biscuit? Chocolate biscuit. So I'm going to explain the digestive system, guys. So I think a lot of people get confused about the way this works. Even though I explain it, they still get confused. So, right, you want one of them? Yeah. She wants one of them. So, chocolate finger. Very fitting for the moment, isn't it? So, chocolate finger. Oh my God, they're so good. Have we got any water?
God's sake.
I'm so dehydrated. Any water? So, Jesus Christ, that's like the driest biscuit I've ever had. Go on, have a water. Quick. Quick. So, if I've just eaten that biscuit now, so biscuit's gone down. Guys, we have over 10,000 people watching. Incredible. Imagine if you had 10,000 people out the front of my house. Can you imagine how many people that'd be? So remember, guys, if you just joined, what you're looking at is my small intestine. And you've come at the perfect time because I'm about to explain the digestive system. So if you can think, and why basically I ended up with one of these. So if you can think of anyone who would benefit from watching this video and wants to learn more about the digestive system, or you just want to help me raise some awareness around my condition, then do me a huge favour. Even if a small fraction of you shared this video, it would have a huge impact, not only for my platform and my small business, but also just to connect with people and help raise awareness around, chronic illnesses and invisible conditions. So thank you all much for joining. I'm going to go through the digestive system and then I'll answer some more questions. So I've just eaten that really dry chocolate finger. That was horrible, but it was nice at the same time. It was satisfying, but it was horrible at the same time. So I've eaten my chocolate finger. It's going to go down my esophagus. 11,000 people watching. It goes down my esophagus. It lands into my stomach. So once it hits the pit of my stomach, you then have like the natural digestive, like the body's enzymes and the natural acids in the stomach will basically break down that biscuit, okay? It will then go from there into my small intestine. So once it's hit my small intestine, always on the diagram, the small intestine is the wiggly one that goes through the middle. For me, what happens there, it comes out, my small intestine then comes out of my abdomen wall, okay? For most people, what happens, it does the same process, so into the stomach, into the small intestine, which absorbs all the nutrients out of food. Then it goes from there into your large colon, which normally goes around the outside, okay? And then you'll go for a normal form stool as you know it. But for me, I just go straight into a bag here. So basically what I'm missing, as opposed to what you guys have, I no longer have a 6-foot organ. So 6 foot of my bowel has been completely removed, and that was due to bowel disease. So now I obviously live with a stoma, and I had, Maggie is trying to nick my poo bag off the top. No, she's done it once before and she'll do it again, and she's back for vengeance. So basically I'm missing a 6-foot organ, which is just insane. And it's one of the reasons why, if you guys don't know, I'm actually a personal trainer and a rehab coach for a living. Can you entertain her, boss? Sorry, she's getting mad. Okay, so one of the things that I wanted to do was bring something different to the market, because I found when I first got diagnosed with my stoma, when I first had this fitted, I couldn't find anything that made me feel comfortable and safe, because obviously with a condition like this, because I've got such a large abdominal scar and I've got such a bit of my abdomen and a bit of my gut hanging out my body, I wanted to protect myself. So over the last 3 years, I designed this bad boy, which is basically to support and protect. These come in 4 sizes, so if you can think of anyone who will benefit from wearing one of these guys to help build their confidence, if they don't want their bag poking through their clothing, or they just want to protect their scar tissue and their abdomen, then you can grab this. It's in the link in the top of my comments. But I'm going to ask, I'm going to get Bonnie to give me a few questions now.
Kim, bugger off. There's some rude comments.
Oh, there's some rude comments. Anyone who comes in here hating, I'll be coming for you. I'm gunning for you. After this live drops down, I'll be going back through my comments and I'll find you. I'll be coming for you. Right, here we go.
What happens if you have gas at passing stools?
So basically, if I have a lot of gas, it's the same as anyone else. Like, I've come on live now, and with the way you want to think about your stoma, it's a completely involuntary muscle. It's got no sense of feeling. So I rub that now, and I can't feel it. It's completely deaded. It's got no nerve endings. So, you know, it's a very odd thing when you first get a stoma fitted. It's quite daunting, but in actual fact, once you get used to it, she's been a nightmare, isn't she?
Really
Give us some food or something, babe. She might be hungry.
Already.
So, you know, it's a completely involuntary muscle. You can't feel it. It's just dead. But the best way I always try and explain to people that have never come across a stoma or never seen a stoma, if you put your finger on the inside of your mouth and rub the inner part of your cheek, that is what your stoma feels like. It feels like the inside of your cheek. And, you know, because it's the exact same material. Material? Tissue. It's the same tissue. In regards to farts and stuff, you know, the way you want to think about it, I've not actually had a fart now in 4.5 years.
Thank God for that.
Thank God for that, Bonnie says, because before that...
I've heard lots of stories about your farts.
Yeah, my farts were chemical. The only way to explain, for someone living with bowel disease, is you know, I actually found it quite funny, but I could understand why someone would find it really embarrassing. Your farts are like fuel. Like, they are literally like the most chemical smelling things ever because your bowel's so inflamed. But you must remember, people get these, and this is why I never understand why people come on and put negative comments and say like disgusting things, because effectively they don't know my journey. They don't know that this has saved my life, and they don't know how I've got it either, you know, because people can get it for cancer, polyps, bowel disease, being Crohn's UC, Hurt springs, so many different reasons why people basically will end up with one of these. Someone's asked here, what is the width of my belt? It's 20 centimetres, which is the average sort of length that you require in order to get the adequate amount of pressure across scar tissue and over a stoma. So 20 centimetres. Have we got another question?
Yes, Sue said, I've got colostomy due to radiotherapy damage when I had anal cancer, but mine is retracted and steniosis has set in. It's very difficult to put a bag on. I also have a parastomal hernia and wanted to ask you if the belts of yours will help, or is it only to stop a hernia forming? No,
so someone's asked here, basically... Oh, I'm running out of tissue. So someone's asked here about my belts and in terms of whether they help pre-existing herniation, and they absolutely do. You know, I've had a lot of people that have had pre-existing hernias, and they still need to be compressed, because what you need to think, a hernia is progressive. It will get worse over time, naturally, and then it will require surgery. But if you can catch it at the early stages, when it's a minor prolapse or even a slightly larger one, and you still make sure you wear that belt repeatedly, you're always going to be in for a winner. So I would 100% recommend grabbing one of these belts if you've got a pre-existing hernia, because it's still massively going to help. Have we got any more questions?
Yeah, give me a minute.
A minute? You're supposed to be on it. Bonnie's got one job.
How does it feel when the tissue touches it?
I can't feel it. So I can feel, you know, people are, because I think a stoma, in effect, it looks quite sore. And what I will say, guys, if any of you are watching this now and you've been watching more than a minute and you haven't shared this video yet, stop being so stingy. Give this video a share, give this video a like. You know, I want to connect with as many people as I can. The only way I can do that is if you guys give this video a share. So take a minute, press that button in the bottom hand corner and give this video a share. I'll massively appreciate it. But no, back to what I was saying, guys. A stoma is just completely involuntary. It might look sore. The only part that can really get sore on a stoma is the skin that sits just around the outside. So you can see it's like a little bit angry around the outside. And I just need to make sure I treat that. But other than that, you know, it's good as gold. Oi.
Have you had to deal with infections?
No. So I don't really get any infections or anything like that. I've recently had some active inflammation in my rectum. So basically, for people like me, I can get a reversal if I want. So if I want to get rid of my stoma, what they do, they pop it back in. Out of the large colon that I have left, they basically create a prosthetic bowel out of that and then reconnect it to my anus, and then I'll go to the normal toilet like a normal person. But you can go to the toilet up to 8 or 9 times a day, and there can be complications to that. I think for me, like, I'm more than happy in my bag. Like, I'm happy to live with it, so I don't want to risk a massive surgery where I could potentially not have kids from and whatnot, and the complications that come with it, and I'll have to have a stoma again, which will have even less of bowel left.
Sorry.
Bonnie's just like making her own jokes in the corner now.
Adam said, how long before we see the biscuit?
So who said that?
Adam.
So Adam's asked how long do Adam Bull?
Yeah.
So Adam Bull's asked how long before we see the biscuit. That's brilliant, isn't it? That's a long-term watcher there. So that biscuit will probably come out of my digestive system, Maggie, will probably come out of my digestive system tomorrow morning. Tomorrow morning? Yeah, tomorrow morning, lads. I don't know why I'm asking Bonnie. She knows it's in my bag. So tomorrow morning that'll probably come out. But if I eat beetroot and certain foods, Maggie, you need to. And certain foods, it will go through me quite quickly. So if I ate a big batch of beetroot now, it could come out in like 2 hours. It can literally go straight through me. But I do have to be careful with food. And anyone who's watching this quite new to a stoma, the golden trick is to make sure that you actually chew your food properly. So make sure you actually chew your food. I use the 20 chew rule before I swallow anything. Equally, make sure you don't just cut things out of your diet. I think people get really scared after having a surgery like this and they read the pamphlet and do exactly what it says. Your diet will go back like relatively normal. You just need to make sure that you're chewing your food properly and only a small amount. Don't be like wolfing stuff down like you normally would. Like I used to be a crazy eater like that. I used to just chunk stuff down. And in reality, you want to make sure you chew it. Again, guys, we have got 7.5 thousand people. It reached the peak of 12,000 today, which is insane. So please do me a huge favour. Give this video a share. It'll take you 2 seconds. It can massively help someone who's living with a stoma. It'll raise some awareness around this condition. And all you've got to do is click that share button, guys. It'll take you 2 seconds. Any more questions? Or do you need a bit more time?
Lots of comments.
Okay, right, so what I'm going to do, guys, what you've got to remember with a stoma as well, I don't know what I've done with my tissues, babe.
What's stopping the tissues around the intestine from closing?
It's got a little pin... Maggie. No, Maggie's stealing my poo stuff off the side.
Maggie, no.
So, basically, in the end of my stoma, I've got a little pinhole prick. So I don't know whether you can see it. It's a tiny little hole. And that little hole is what's basically the stool is coming out of. And that's why it's so important that you chew your food, because if that hole is obviously quite small, then it causes problems because you'll get a blockage and it'll basically hit the other side, won't be able to come out. And then I'll get like a backlog of stool, which is not very good at all. So your stoma as well, one thing that's really important to understand. Bong, you just distracted me, I don't need any more. One of the things really important, when I touch my stoma, when I put cold water on my stoma, when I basically put anything cooler on it or fiddle with it, because the bowel doesn't like to be touched, it will actually go smaller and retract in. I always relate it to like a snail's eye. But if I warm it and my digestive system is more active, it becomes more swelled up. So before I do the process of what I'm going to do now, guys, and pop my bag back on, what I'll do is basically dab it a little bit to make it smaller. And then I'll get my bag, so this is my new bag. I will peel it off, down. And then I essentially slide my stoma into the bag. And this is the bit you need to take a bit of care with and a bit of time with, because if you get it wrong, you could get a leak in like a matter of hours, which isn't ideal. So I got a good seal there, so that's important. And these bags basically glue themselves to the skin, and they are very stuck on. You got a question?
Can you show us the puppy?
Oh, go on then, hold her up.
No, you aren't.
All right, to be fair, I put my bag back on now. Maggie, come here. So this is Maggie with her flamingo toy. Look at her. Look at you. Look at you.
How could you laugh in this situation?
Because so someone's asked, how can you laugh in this situation? Because at the end of the day, it's my life now, and if I don't accept it for what it is now, and I continue to not accept it, I'll always be in a negative mindset. When that's not you've got to live, you move on, you move forward, and these are the cards I've been dealt. I'm going to make the best out of almost a bad situation, which is really important.
What's your diet like? Can you eat normally?
Yeah, so my diet's relatively normal now. I can eat relatively normal.
No nuts.
I don't eat nuts though, because nuts tend to really block me up and cause absolute havoc. So I don't tend to eat nuts, which is the best thing. Because otherwise I'll end up with a really extended stomach, and it just becomes really, really uncomfortable. I'm going to need that top in a second. I'll borrow that top. So another thing to realise, guys, I've got my fresh bag on now. So fresh bag's on. That's the way I go to the toilet. So that's how I do it. I push through that. I push all the stool out through there. Can I have that top on?
The guy from TikTok.
Huh?
The guy from TikTok.
The guy from TikTok, someone said. The guy from TikTok. So now I just want to show you. So the bag's on now. So this is why I designed this bad boy. So what this bad boy does it basically protects, hides, and prevents me getting a hernia or a prolapse. So all I do is I wrap my belt around, normally under my jeans slightly, and then I put it over the top. Once I've done that, obviously pretty standard, I can then go from here. It's like a magic trick now.
Laurie, Daniel.
One sec. So I'll then pop my top on. And this is one of the reasons why I designed the belt, because now, you know, effectively, if you saw me walking down the street, you wouldn't even know I had a bag. And I think that's really important because, you know, particularly when you're trying to build your confidence in the early stages of living with a stoma, you might not want everyone to know you've got a bag. And I'm in no way ashamed of it, but I wanted to develop something that made me feel more comfortable in the early stages and protect me and prevent me from getting a herniation, which is so, so important. So I just wanted to illustrate that, guys, because I think it is like mega important to understand the importance of having one of these. So if you know anyone who's got a stoma now, like I'm 4.5 years down the line, this belt's 6 months old. Like I've not changed this in 6 months. And look at the condition of it. You can wear this in the swimming pool. It's water resilient, and it would dry really quickly. It equally holds stool in, as well as like, you know, stops water from getting in as much. So Maggie's just grabbing poo stuff off the side. So yeah, have we got any more questions? One more.
Laurie Daniels, if you could just explain to her, she said, why are you taking questions if you're not going to answer them?
So I'm taking questions. What you've got to remember here, was it Laurie?
Yeah.
So Laurie, what you've got to remember here, I'm taking questions, but what can you hold it now? I'm done. Just hold it. Just take it. So what you've got to remember, guys, I have over sort of 12,000 people watching this, and Facebook actually doesn't let me see all the comments. So I'll get to as many as I can, but I've literally got, when I share this post afterwards, feel free to inbox me. When I share this post afterwards, I'll have something like 3,000 comments on here. There's no way I can see all of them. So I'm going to clock off now, guys. I really appreciate any of you guys who joined me. I hope you enjoyed the process. Bonnie reading out the questions. No, I'm not answering anymore. That is it. I want to go out for a dog walk. I really appreciate, guys. If you want to ask me any more questions, feel free to send me a DM or join us next week when I do another live. But thank you so much for anyone who's coming on and giving us support. I really appreciate it. Make sure you go and purchase your belt now. They're out for sale. You can click the link at the top of the comments.
I'll go on next.
I love you all, and I shall speak to you soon. Take care now, guys. Bye.